Welcome, everyone. Welcome. I'm actually live on Clubhouse for the first time in months. Oh my God. It's been a long time since I've gone live on Clubhouse, and I thought I would go live this morning. I'm live on all of my other platforms, Facebook, um, LinkedIn, YouTube, where all of my videos are housed. So let's get this party started. Now, as with all things, when you enter the room, you know how we were raised, you know how we were taught. Say hello. I greet everybody. And if you're catching this by the replay, hashtag replay. Clubhouse, different rules, but if you're catching the replay, you find value, drop a comment so I know that you were there. This live is because of a question that was posed in a group that I'm in. I'm a coach, consultant, I'm not sure which one he is. He posed the question: how do you overcome the objection of your program or package, mastermind, whatever it is, it's too high? And various people answered various ways. I responded that I don't overcome that objection. My response was I simply do not overcome the objection to your program is too high. Simply because some people really cannot afford it. They don't have the money. And I am not about to browbeat, badger, harass, make people feel guilty about not having the money. And I'm going to come back to that point later. Some people, no matter what you do, will never see the value of paying your price for your program. You can stack, you can screen value, you can keep adding bonuses. They never will see the value. So, no matter what you do, they will never see it. So, you constantly adding, well, I'm going to throw in this and I'm going to throw in that. Now you've become a swap meet. Now you've turned yourself into a bargain basement thing. And some people want the world for $1. That's just it. So I may ask, what were they expecting? I may ask what they were looking for. But I don't try to overcome the objection of that's too high. Now I'm going to come back to my first point. I remember spending $10,000 with a coach that did not serve me. They didn't serve me at all. I received nothing from the coaching program. They didn't teach me anything I did not already know. And in retrospect, it was my fault. I hired the wrong coach. Now, which is why I titled this Asking the Right Questions. I did not do proper vetting. Now, I could have walked away from that experience saying, I will never hire another coach, but I didn't, because that's a disservice to myself. I still needed help. I still needed somebody to fill in the gaps, fill in the holes, to help me find the solutions that I needed to find. Because no matter how intelligent that I am, no matter how capable and talented that I am, you can never see yourself as clearly as someone who's looking at you. You can never see your own gaps as well as someone who is analyzing you. That's just what it is. And you get there faster when you add members to your team. Going alone or going it alone makes the process harder. When you sit down and you listen to those who have gotten there successfully, all of your successful business owners, millionaires, billionaires, entrepreneurs, consultants, CEO, there's a common thread. That's why they say success leaves clues. And the one thing that they all have in common is they didn't go alone. And they don't stay alone in their journey. They all have consultants, they all have coaches, they all have mentors. So one bad experience should not negate the need to have someone go along with you. But you need to ask the right questions. And in my bad experience in hiring the wrong coach, I can look back on that and say two things were true at the same time. I didn't ask the right questions, but I was also hard sold into the program. And I want to say to my fellow peers, stop that. They were believers in, and it's something that I don't do, and I can have a negative amount in my bank account. I will never do it. I do not believe in that hard sell. I do not believe in that constant overcoming the objection. I do not believe in that. They're saying no because you're not selling the value. Some people say no because they honestly don't have the money. And it's not for you to tell them what is in their bank account. Some people say no, even though they don't believe in themselves. It is not for you to browbeat them on a call to convince them to take that next step. You hear it in their voice. You know that they're straddle the fence, but it's still ultimately up to them to choose them to invest. So you sitting on the phone, guilt tripping them, and by saying, well, if you don't make this decision to buy this program, you're not invested in you and you're letting down your children and your ancestors and whatever other guilting methodology that you have in your script that leads them into taking a step that they're not willing to take or unsure of taking, just so you can say, I've got the sale, is wrong. Then you want to get mad when they don't pay, slow pay, or they're the worst client in the world. Then we have these soliloquies posted on every social media platform about these horrible clients that don't want to do the work. I'm sorry. I would rather allow them the grace and ease of self-selecting themselves and point them to resources where they can do the mindset work and come back later than to browbeat somebody into enrolling in my program that I constantly have to browbeat time and time again to pay the invoice and do the work. Now, is it their fault that they allowed me to browbeat them into the program? Yes. But is it my fault that I used, in my opinion, lowbrow, borderline harassing tactics to enroll them? Yes. But I'm going to jump back over on the other side. Those seeking the services of coaches and consultants, and ask the right questions so that you can be sure to not only hire the right coach or consultant for you, that when you invest at the $5, $10, $20, $30,000 level, you are receiving the services that you need to get you to the level that you're trying to achieve. Stop running around here saying all coaches and consultants are thieves when the truth is you didn't ask the right questions so that you can receive the results that you're looking for. We're not all thieves. The problem is, and I'm saying this with my whole chest because I've bought wrong services and I've listened to people in my discovery sessions say it. They got caught up with the ease that was being sold to them. And then they got into a program and it was stuff that they already knew, or they were sold on one thing and got something else. The bait and switch. Because you didn't ask the right questions. Now, somebody is going to be listening to this recording, or somebody is listening to this recording, and they're saying, Luciana, what is the right question? What are the right questions? What should I be asking? What should I be looking for when I'm looking to engage a coach or consultant? I'm glad you asked. And if you haven't noticed, I lead myself. One thing you should ask is, who are their clients? And I know they're getting ready to say, oh, this is another fluff live, another fluff recording. No, it isn't. I want you to walk with me a little bit, because that's one of the things people do all the time. You shut off the information without seeing where it goes. You make an assumption and then wonder why you're spinning in circles. So walk with me a little further. So what? I'm getting ready to take 30 minutes to share some information with you. If all you get out of the next 30 minutes out of your life is one piece of information that will take you a mile down the road, that's an extra mile that you wouldn't have gotten. So what's 30 minutes for 1 mile? So just walk with me a little further. One question is, who are their clients? Now, my clients are those looking to obtain, maintain, and retain government contracts. So if you're looking to service yoga instructors, I'm not the coach consultant for you. So you could automatically take me off your list. However, if you have a service that can be of use to government contractors, I may be a coach or consultant for you. See how you qualify? You have a service or a product that could be of use to government contractors, so you may want to have a conversation with me. So you can book a discovery call to see how we can work with each other. Another question you may ask is, what services do my clients offer? Now, this can be a little tricky because my clients could offer a plethora of services, but my end clients service the government or service companies who serve the government. So that is still a qualifier, because if you provide services to companies that serve the government, then that's still a coach consultant. I still may be for you. So you want to book that discovery call. You still want to book that discovery session to see how can I be of service to you. But if your services are of the lines or along the lines of a holistic healer, I am not for you. That's how you start the qualification process. If you are someone who services new companies, or if you're someone who services companies who are looking to sell their companies, you still may want to have a conversation with me, but not from a coaching consulting perspective, but from a collaboration perspective. You see how we're qualifying who we work with and how? We're not asking the right questions, so we're yielding the wrong results. But instead of stepping back and doing some strategic analysis, we're making broad blanket statements and assumptions, and we're getting angry and frustrated at the process. And instead of dumping the process, I'm saying back up and perform some analysis. We need to start asking the right questions. So for the rest of this year, entering 2023, let's start asking the right questions. The Small Business Administration talks about the failure rate of new businesses. And I dare say, without looking at the numbers, without doing analysis, without talking to anyone, these businesses fail not for lack of effort, not for lack of trying, but for a lack of resources, a lack of support, because they're not asking the right questions. They're not engaging the right resources. And before anybody says, well, I can't afford, you can afford what you put your mind to. As my wealth coach says, we create money for whatever we want to. When our child come home wanting a brand new pair of $300 sneakers, we come up with the money for that, but we don't come up with the money to hire a coach to come up with a marketing plan so that we can make the $10,000 to hire the person that can help us create a strategic plan. I have a mentor who talks about we don't go as far as our dream, we go as far as our team. One person pulling a 10-ton truck won't go that far, but put 10 people on that truck and we can go somewhere. Ask the right questions. I read post after post on Facebook to the point I needed to reset my algorithm because I get tired of seeing these negative people on posts telling people don't hire a coach, don't hire a consultant. All you need is God. Let me tell you what the Lord did when the woman was sitting there and her children were sold off to pay off the debt of her dead husband. He told her to go talk to the prophet. And what did the prophet do? He told her to do what? Go sell. And what did he do? He gave her a strategic plan. The Lord didn't come down and solve her problem. The Lord sent her to somebody who had the solution for her problem. Come on. That's for all the believers in the room. So if anybody want to come talk to you about all you need is the Lord on your side, the Lord gave us resources. The Lord gave us the innate ability to be of help to one another. And I don't know why people want to act like we're not supposed to pay people to help us. But why is it right for you to come get my knowledge to feed your family, but my family's supposed to starve? I don't know. But that's another conversation for another day. But the summation of this is simply this. For those who need help, ask the right questions. Sit down. What kind of help do you need? And what I want to also caution you against is taking all year. It doesn't take all year. It takes a concerted effort. Most of the coaches and consultants out here have Facebook pages, YouTube channels, and websites. You can binge their content within a day or two. You know exactly what service they offer. You can see what talks they have given. Don't get caught up with how much money their other clients have made, because that is not an indicator of anything. Because unless you have done an independent audit, you don't know what those numbers mean. And just because somebody else made $1 million don't mean you're going to make it. And that's another conversation for another day as well. You should get caught up with, what does that person know? Do they really know it? Is it genuine? Is it authentic? Can they authentically help you transform your reality into the new reality you're trying to create? That is what you should be looking for. Ask the right questions. You're looking for transformation. I applied for a discovery session because I'm looking for a transformation in my personal life. And you know what I got back? I was actually denied access to what I applied for because of the answers I gave I wasn't ready for the level of transformation I applied to, but I was given access to the level below because I still needed to do a little more mindset work. See, and I wasn't offended because guess what? I still needed to do a little more work. So I was given access to the next level below. So I can still get access to the work so I can get up and build up to the next level. But see, they asked me some right questions. That's another question. That's another conversation for my fellow consultant coaches. But you see how everybody needs to ask questions? I hold conversations daily, and I do things in my screening process deliberately. And if you act and you move and you respond in certain ways, I know you're not my ideal client. And I will refer you either to someone else or to other resources. Because if you're not ready to do the work, there's no need of me forcing you to do the work, because I'm not in the business of convincing. I'm not in the business of browbeating people to do what they need to do for their own best interest. That is not my job. My job is to transform you to get you to where you're trying to go. Now, are we going together? Because I'm not about to drag you into your next. I'm going to walk with you hand in hand. But that's where asking the right questions come in. I've referred some people to my mindset coach because let me tell you, she's going to get you together. And I did some work with her. But I had to ask the right questions to get there. Ask the right questions. So I just want to sum this up by saying this. Far too often, we are shutting off the solutions we need because we're simply not asking the right questions. We're not taking assessment of what we have. We're not taking stock of what we truly need. We're not searching out who can provide this service. And then we're not vetting by asking the right question. It is just as simple as that. I want you to think about that for a moment. Ask the right question. Tell me what you think about what I just said. Drop a comment. Give me some feedback. What are some of the questions you have for me about the services I provide? How do you feel I can serve you? What are some questions you have for me? Just ask the right questions. Have an amazing day.